Hi, so this video is all about seats. So I decided I was going to fit some new seats into my van, and basically I didn't want sporty seats, I wanted comfy seats. I didn't want to be climbing over bolsters every time I get in and out the van, and I don't really need it for racing. I just want to be comfy, and I quite like the idea of having heated seats as well. I also wanted seats that were slightly different, so I thought I'd go for this colour rather than black. They were cheaper, they're in good nick. Yeah, they need a clean, but I'll do that in another video. So I found these seats for £80 off Facebook Marketplace. So this is the driver's seat. So I figured out this one's where my power's coming in. It's going to here, which I think might be the heated seats. I've disconnected the orange cable, which was the airbag. I've also disconnected the black cable, which was the seatbelt tensioners. These seats were from a Volvo S60. I didn't realise there was going to be so much work involved in fitting these seats into my van. So I will make a separate video, or maybe even two, detailing some of the points that you have to take into account before buying seats and trying to fit seats into a Suzuki Carry. So it would have been very nice to have kept all the height adjustment levers and all the fancy gubbins, but realistically I needed to get the seats low, so I had to make a call and cut a load of it out. I also had to cut some brackets off the Suzuki seats. I really didn't want to cut my original Suzuki seats at all, but it had to be done. I've tried a few different ways of fitting these seats, and I had to cut the seats I'd got. So I started looking for replacement seats that I could put in while I'm chopping my Suzuki seats up. So I had to do this over a few weeks, and I was basically going with the idea that I would get the engine covers to bolt down over the engine independently and then bolt the seats to them. Now, when I tried a seat in to see how what room I'd got, I will say these Volvo seats are very tight, and that's after I've removed most of the handles and panels on the side and the memory switches, etc. It was very tight. I've just got enough room. And as you can see on the pictures at this point, the seats would go in, but they were high. They were very high, and obviously I started with the passenger seat, but I knew that the driver's seat would need to be fairly near to the height of the original seat. I actually felt that the original seat was a little bit low, so I knew I could afford to go up a little bit. But getting that right is difficult. Plus, I like the seat to, as you can see, sit back, and so getting the front of the seat right is also a bit of a mission. But yeah, when I took a look at the actual driver's seat, the driver's seat had got motors everywhere, as you can see, and was quite daunting. So I decided a lot of the motors would have to go. It's very nice and fancy, but I hadn't got the room, so I took them all off. I did notice that the backrest motor is in the backrest, so I decided to keep that one. I bought some runners off Amazon, and they were too short to reach between the two tubes, so I had to put some 6mm aluminium strips down and then fix them to that, as you can see. But the reason I bought these runners was they're thinner, and they've got a bar on them that you pull to the side, so even if I got the seat down really low, you can still pull the bar to the side rather than running out of room to move up and down. So although at this height it was just about acceptable, it was still a bit too high. So I decided to cut it down some more, which would then give me the problem of the seat belt and where that bolts in. So I decided to tap the seat belt fitting in on one of the ends of the tubes, so I could tap it and bolt it, and it should be nice and secure. So I took the decision that I was going to cut some more. I was literally going to go halfway through the tubing. The frame structure is very strong, so I knew it would handle it okay, but it was quite a brave move cutting them, and I actually got through eight 1mm discs per seat. And I know my initial cutting looks messy, but I did sort it out and tidy it up. And then, as you can see, I repositioned the springs. I used uni-ties to refit the material and to hold it all together. They're quite tough, and you can just cut them and redo them if you want. I might redo them blue ones for white ones at a later date, but they're blue for now. And as you can see, it's a lot lower. I was getting quite used to stripping these seats down at this point, and I got it all quite tidy, and it obviously was a lot lighter. And I started tidying some of the brackets up on the base and getting the driver's seat prepped up to match the passenger. I had a quick look at the heated elements in the seats, and they looked okay. They didn't look burnt out or anything, so hopefully I'll be able to get them working at a later date, but I think that might be for another video. So now I've got two sets of Suzuki seats. I got my original ones, and I got the set I bought from a breaker, and I basically had to butcher one lot, and so I'm left with one good reserve seat if I need to put them back in at some point. But hopefully the Volvo ones will do the trick, you know. And now it was at a good height. I'm quite happy with the height, so I decided I'd do the driver's seat the same and try and concentrate on getting them to move and fit properly. Well, sorting the driver's seat was, I done it quicker because obviously I knew what I was tackling, but it felt harder work to do because once you've done it all once, you've got to go through it all again. So at this point, my main concern was when I get the driver's seat in, the backrest would be set at what it was originally until I can suss the wiring out on the motor. So I didn't know whether I was going to need a cushion or if I'm going to be leaning back too much, or even if I could get the motor to work. Now when I get both seats in, it is very tight. These seats do have lumbar adjustment, and the big wheel that you adjust it with makes it very tight on the width. But I got them in, and I was happy with the height and generally very happy. It was just the backrest was leaning back a little bit too much for my liking, so I set to sorting the wiring. Luckily, my good friend James done me a sketch of how I should wire it up. So I had a practice run with a battery, with a spare battery, and I got the motor to work. So then I fitted the switches in the centre console, and I also put some in for the heated seats for later on. I actually got a switch off Amazon, which is an electric window switch, but I think that was perfect. So there you go. Hope you like my video and my seats, and subscribe and like, and I'll be posting updates on when I sort the heated seats out and etc. Thanks for watching.